Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We certainly want to welcome you here to this session, and we're very, very excited to share with you our training segment. But before we begin, I always love to recognize the folks that are here bright and early. Robert, you're here nice and early. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you. James from, let's see here, we have from Adam, South Africa. This is wonderful. Great to have you here. And we have Francis from Ghana. We have Guylaine Dupont. Welcome. I know, Guylaine, you are from Sainte-Anne-de-la-Prairie, Quebec. Welcome. Let's see here. We have Lucie. Bonjour, Lucie de Quebec. Et let's see. We have René from Cornwall, Ontario. We have Queen Door. Welcome. Great to have you here. We have Eric from Pennsylvania. We have David Wagner from North Carolina. Great to have you here. We have Jeffrey from Pennsylvania, I believe. And then we have Don from Oregon, and we have Internet Marketing 2021 from London, UK. Great to have you here. And folks, the segment training we're going to share with you today is how to make the first circle work. I think it speaks for itself. It's from your position, right? How do we make that circle work? And what are the things we're going to talk about? There is not going to be a lot of really difficult concept we're going to talk about. It's going to be mainly mindset and some things that you need to be aware of that Tammy and I have literally spent, I'm not kidding, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the year by traveling, airlines, hotels, food,
Courses,
events.
3-day
I
events.
mean,
Yeah.
to name a few. We've been doing this for decades. And what we're delivering for you here are the kind of information that has been instrumental as to why we've made seven-figure in this industry.
Yeah.
And it's the reason we have beautiful properties in Toronto. We have beautiful property in Daytona Beach. It's the reason why we drive a Tesla Model X. And again, folks, it's not to brag. It's to impress upon you that this is not just luck. This is not because we're at the top or we came in first. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do. In fact, coming first, it is not a fun trip because often it's a very lonely until the team starts growing and evolving and things are sticking and duplications occurring. And that's what we want to talk to you about. Why is it that when Tammy and I start a project and we're into God Backup, which is we're married to the company. We're looking forward to the growth and we're looking forward to the future. Right. But the reason why this works is because of the concepts we're going to be sharing with you today. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. And you still have time to share that link. And by the way, don't be shy to hit that like button. YouTube enjoys promoting videos that people do like. And this is the kind of information that can really help you, not just you, but if your team is exposed to this information, and the light bulb just lights up, it could really be beneficial for you. So it's not just about you, but it's about your team. As I often say, if you show up, you learn. But if you show up with your team, you earn while you learn. And this, by the way, came from Joel. And I'm sure Joel got it from someone else, but he's the one that I got it from. That's decades ago when I first met him and I was receiving his emails. I remember the bottom of his email always say exactly that, right? So, Tammy, let's get started here and let me share our slides. And let's start with the very first slide. And let's start from there. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's just introducing you to today's session as Chris did and making the first circle work because and often I say that, it's all about you at the beginning when you're learning and growing and developing a team. But as you start introducing people, the key is it's got to duplicate, right? So it's you learning the right things to do in building a business and duplicating that right from the beginning as people come into the business. It's interesting because one of the first things that I do when we're doing our sessions is I'm looking down the list of all the people that are showing up. How many people do I personally have that are showing up to the trainings? That's important, you guys. That means it's being duplicated if you have team members there. If you don't have team members there, sometimes you just gotta make that phone call. I know it's not easy, you guys, to always have to call people, always have to send a message, but sometimes people need to be lifted up, especially in today's world. Quite sad, but it is the way it is in today's world. And they may show up to this session and it changed everything. right? So it's getting people engaged until they can do this naturally. It's like helping a baby walk. You know, once they know how to walk, they're walking. Next thing you know, they're running. Same thing here. At the beginning, there's work to help people move. And obviously, I mean, if people don't show up, what do they call them? Missing in action. I don't know if any of you had any people that were missing in action. They joined for the wrong reason, right? So the important thing is we work with people who really want to make this work. And at the same time, constantly bringing new people into the business. So importance on self leadership development, personal responsibility on knowing that if you are going to develop a team, you need to be working with your team members. Okay. And your success always starts with you and taking ownership and doing the actions first. All right. You got to be leading with, in other words, if you're not showing up Wednesday night on the presentations and you're asking people to show up, guess what? It's not a good thing, right? Same thing with the trainings. If you're not willing to show up, but you're asking other people to show up, these are all signs of development, right? People need to develop themselves first.
I totally agree, Tammy. And, moving to this slide here, and this is really, really important that you get this. Um, you see, since the day we started Got Back Up, we've seen an influx of people coming in, and some is sticking around, and they're just kind of visitors, right? They just come around, they sit around, they show up from time to time, and then they turn around and they look for the next shiny thing. And there's some that will start, and unfortunately they may follow folks that have absolutely no sense of direction, but they have a sense of excitement for them to always start a new deal. And unfortunately they never end up making any money. It's really interesting, but we've been seeing this for a long time. We
Mhm.
see the same people over and over and jumping like bees from one flower to another. Now, naturally, I understand the nature of things, but when it comes to building a business that is sustainable, folks, it's all about consistency, perseverance, and it's the part of understanding that people tend to follow people that have a sense of direction and they know where they're going. So the jumpers that are jumping from one deal to another, they never make a dime. All they do is they give the money to wherever they start project, whatever project they choose to start, whatever deal they chose to be part of. Didn't work out, they move on to the next. They move on to the next. And we've been seeing that for decades. I'm never going to mention names here, folks, but there's some big networkers that are jumping ship every 3 to 4 to 5 years. They never make it big. The reason why, it's exactly what this slide says, right? The law of the first circle. I want to start by a quote by Jim Rohn, where when you change, everything will change for you. This is a really, really, really important statement. And by the way, we welcome feedback. If you happen to have an idea or you want to contribute to something we're saying, or you're seeing a slide that moves you or speaks to you, by all means, do put a comment, and we'll make sure that it is displayed. So the point here, folks, is everything starts with you. If you're not solid, I guarantee that whoever you bring on board will not stick around. And this is the unfortunate truth. Set an example to be the role model in your network. Be the example. That's where Tammy and I constantly thrive to be, is to be the example. And I assure you that God Backup will become a very, very big, massive company that will carry an enormous amount of clients. It's going to drive an enormous amount of volume. And there are some people today now that are positioned that can really benefit from all that. But unfortunately, they're constantly distracted by the new shiny thing. So the fact is, be the role model in your network. You cannot blame your team, folks. If your team is not doing the activities, remember, look at yourself. What are you doing? What are you contributing? Right? Your action sets the tone for duplication. Tammy stated earlier, we have presentation every Wednesday nights that our CEO is hosting. Every Friday morning, Tammy and I do a presentation. Every week, we have team from Ghana, from Italia, from Italy, from different parts of Canada,
Spanish
different
market.
parts of the US, are presenting every single week in their respective groups. Do you show up for those things? Because if you don't, your team won't. And if your team won't, there's no duplication. So you can't blame your team for what you're not willing to do. This is a very important concept. The law of the first circle. Be the role model in your network. If you understand these, and understanding is one thing, but applying it is another, you will see an enormous changes coming your way. That's why the statement where when you change, everything will change for you.
Absolutely. And mindset and attitude is, I mean, we hear this stuff. How many times do you flick through Facebook and everybody's talking about, having the right mindset, positive attitude. And it's necessary in growing yourself. It's necessary in growing business. It's necessary when you're trying to get to that next level in your fitness goals. Like Chris and I are into our fitness goals, our nutrition goals. We're always about, maintaining proper health, because when you're healthy, you have a better attitude. You do have a stronger mindset. And so these are all the things that we constantly work at. And we've been working at it for so long, it just becomes a natural thing. So at the beginning, it's never comfortable, especially when you're in an environment that is always negative. Sometimes you have to learn to tune things out
Mhm.
so that you can refresh your mind into a better direction. And yeah, sometimes it's in your household, sometimes it's in your workplace, sometimes it's watching that same stuff or listening to the news and stuff. Like Chris likes to listen to the news, he likes to be ahead, but when you listen to it, it's so much negativity out there. You have to cleanse yourself. You have to
My wife is telling
literally
me
cleanse
something.
yourself, seriously, because it can affect you big time. And people don't even realize that it's affecting them. But the people around who have great positive mindset, positive attitudes, they can spot it in a second, right? So you constantly have to cleanse yourself from bad environments. But the best thing to do is to immerse yourself into environments that are growing, environments that are thriving. And as a leader, making that first circle work, you need to be that. And in order for you to be that, you need to be also plugged into environments that make you happy, that encourage you to move forward, that inspire you to have a bigger vision, right? Because when you have that, and when you're goal setting, when you're creating your vision boards, whatever you're doing, that's going to move you towards that next step, that next rank, that next goal, that next house you've always wanted and dreamed of having, whatever it is. You got to have the vision to achieve. And to have that, you need the right mindset. You need to be always on track. You're going to get off track. It's normal, but you have to recognize that really quick and get back on track. So your attitude can either attract or repel success, and that is absolutely true. So and expect great things from yourself and others. And the power of expectations is absolutely powerful. It really is, because I put out expectations all the time, and I always have. And by doing that, you move towards these things. You probably don't even recognize it, that some things are going to come into your life and you go, wow, that happened so fast. How many times have you asked for something and it came so fast? Well, practice this over and over and over, and it becomes a natural thing. And so this slide, Chris, is absolutely critical to make the first circle work. And when you constantly recognize the power of it, you'll be more into the positive energy than you will the negative. And you'll I guess recognize less the negative, because a lot of people will see a lot of negative because that's what's out there. Where myself personally, I don't even pay attention to any of that stuff. I have a target, I have a goal, I have a focus, and I'm going to make it work with or without anybody. I can make things work because I know what I can do. But that's the attitude you have to have in your first circle. And those who want to work with you, that you can inspire to grow with you, that you could help them get past some of the struggles, if you can help them get past some of those hurdles, to get to that next level, that's when you start building a team.
I agree. Now, here's another thing that's really important here is integrity and doing the right thing. It's unbelievable the things that sometimes Tammy and I come across, folks. And then some of those leaders wonder why nobody's active in our business. See, integrity is key to long-term success. People remember, even though there's always gossip, there's always people who find a way to lash out. They don't know you from Adam, but some reason they have all these things to say that have completely no bearing and no sense, but hey, they just want to say it. And that happens. But I can tell you right now that the truth always prevails. People will remember you from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And if you've stayed consistent, honest, and do things with integrity all these decades, I assure you, it doesn't matter what's being said or done. People remember your actions. They remember who you are. So integrity is key to long-term success, folks. Ethical behavior, this is so critical. Respecting, for example, product claims and making honest representation of earnings. It's very important that you don't mislead. This is the reason why when we train a compensation plan and we explain the possibilities are there, the numbers are there, but people need to understand that this is not going to come from the sky. You got to work at this. You got to build it. You got to nurture it. For example, we came across some people who have sent some emails that are so disrespectful of others' images. Why did he do that? And just give you an example. This happens. And guess what? Their team are completely missing in action. They're not active. They're not interested to deal with this negativity. It is not what will nurture an organization. And to badmouth and to discredit someone, especially that is working hard, will never serve you well, even if you think you have the right to do so. So these are things you do not do in public. And in fact, you shouldn't do at all. But if you do happen to have something, go directly to that person, deal with that person, and find the happy medium. Even if we agree to disagree, it's okay. But find that happy medium to find a solution to whatever might be the situation that might have got you feeling that you want to, you feel content for that person, which may result in being some disrespectful in some way. And I'm sharing this with you because we see that in teams that has an enormous potential for growth. But unfortunately, the ethical behavior is a cancer that will kill all the cells of this organization to nothing. So integrity is at the top of the list, right? So what it is, that integrity at the top filters through the entire organization. It's critical. If you're not doing things with integrity right from the top, it will filter all the way down and it will create a cancer that will damage the cells of your organization, if you understand my analogy. So, integrity and doing the right thing is critical. Sponsoring someone personally that should not be yours, I'm telling you, it has an impact, a very negative impact. Is it worth it to do that? You may think that, oh, well, you know what? I spoke to this person first, or I knew this person 20 years ago, but you never really prospect that person. Someone else did. You guys know what I'm talking about. These are the things that will unfortunately create cancers within your organization that will spread as reputation, that will end up with maybe unethical behaviors among your leadership by doing things like that. I'm telling you, it is not worth it. It's better to always do things with integrity. It will serve you well. I cannot stress this enough. Dami and I have done some many trainings on what we call the attitude training, on ethics, right? Don't compromise righteousness, because I'm telling you, it will always come back and bite you. So this slide is very important. I hope you guys are seeing what we're talking about here. These slides are all about mindset, mentoring, leadership, doing the right things, duplication, what you focus on expands. These are all the things we're talking about. And by being aware of this knowledge and by applying it, it will change everything for you. But you need to accept the change before things will change for you. So I hope this makes sense here, folks. This is so important. These are the details that most people don't think matters. They say, oh, I just signed them up. Now I just need to sign them up another. I'm telling you, folks, an organization, it's a breathing organization that will grow and expand based on your leadership. And what you think and what you do and the way you behave will be the example that will follow within your organization. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so building volume, there's three ways to increase volume. We're going to talk about that. So the key, you guys, is to use the product. I had a serious conversation through a platform yesterday. Unfortunately, it wasn't that positive. And the sad part is it was higher up in the organization. And when people are not plugged in and they don't know what's happening and they're not using the product, it affects a whole group. And so I spent some time yesterday. I'm just making an example that I had to take some people off the platform only to realize that they weren't even using the tool, and they needed to learn how to use the tool, right? So there's always situations which we're going to talk about in this training where you need to taproot into organizations to make sure everybody's taken care of, because not everybody's going to make their own circle work. You have to understand that. And Chris and I understand that. That's why we're going to teach you more things that you're going to learn about this. But using the product is number one. I mean, you're paying. The reason you signed up, hopefully the reason you signed up, is you caught the vision of the data storage era. You know, Dropbox, 800 million users. We're the same concept. We have, what, 60,000 users? And the key is people sign up, they got to know how to use the tool. They got to get it set up. And Got Backup has made it simpler and simpler and simpler for everybody to be able to watch a simple video, stop and start it if you have to, do exactly what they do, and voila, right? So it's important that everybody is using the product and they're happy with the product. That is key. Number one. All right. And then number two, what's important in building volume and keeping people into your business is duplication, right? Duplicate the 4 building steps and always have, and Chris and I have always had simple steps. If you can get somebody to do 3, 4 simple steps, then they can teach somebody else to do 3, 4 simple steps. And with Got Back Up, we have our 4 benchmarks, right? So what are the 4 benchmarks? Is to go out and get your first 2, 1 left, 1 right, copper, bang. What do you do next? Go do it again. Get another one on the left, get another one on the right. And then you want to teach those people in the process. Don't wait until you get your 4. The moment you get your first 2, you want to teach them right away to get their first 2, right? And then as this line of sponsorship is growing that you're creating, you go up in ranks. If you have 25 people and you have 5 personals and you have, oh, Chris, I'm not in front of the chart right now. To be a gold, you need to have, I think it's 2 coppers.
Yeah. To become a gold, you need to have 5 personal sponsor.
Yeah,
You need to have 2 on your left, 2 on your right,
correct.
and you need to have at least 25 people within your sponsorship tree, your enrollment tree,
Yeah,
and you need to have 3
3
coppers
coppers.
and
Okay.
3 separate enrollment trees. So if you sponsor 5 people, then out of the 5, 3, either the one you brought in or anyone from the one you brought in all the way down to whatever infinity, they need to find a copper. And when that happens, you qualify as a gold.
Exactly. And it's all about duplicating. So that's number 2. If you keep duplicating coppers, which will build to the golds and above, that's exactly what's going to happen. We've always taught to do the little things. And then once people accomplish the little things, their confidence builds. And then they can do bigger things. And then they can get other people to do these things. So that's the key in building a large organization. We've done it what, 3 times, Chris, in our career. We've done it 3 times in our career and made this happen. So it's very simple. If you can get people to duplicate and you get people on board doing the little things, that's when your organization is growing and thriving together. And then number 3, you want to maintain good relationships with your team. Always have open communications with your team. If somebody has a challenge, make sure they go to you privately. Okay. People should not share this stuff within a platform when they're frustrated. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And I had to come in and work some things, but some things you just can't. You can't control the way people behave. And I always say the time will always promote you or expose you. And every single time. So how you behave, what you do in public, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
How you treat people matters. People are always watching you. People are always watching you. So do the right thing. And always, even if you're in your office, do the right thing, even when people are not looking. Just be that person that's going to do the right thing. Okay. And build really good relationships. When you care more about people, that's when your business grows. Okay. And then always promoting events and incentives, constantly promoting. Everybody should have their own team platform and plug into your leaders' team platforms. And as you start building your organization, you may want to have some personal incentives within your personal group. You always need to know that your team are plugged in. Okay, if they're not plugged in and they don't know what's going on because you're not in the groups and you're not plugged in, then it'll go. It'll be gone within months. They say people have 90 days to engage and to achieve some type of income before they're gone. 90 days. Always think of that when you sign somebody up. I got 90 days to engage somebody. And that's when they stay, at least 1 month longer.
So looking at this slide over here, this is a very, very important slide. I mean, all the slides are equally important, but this one will impact your income. You have to understand here, folks, we're dealing with a $10 item, not $1,000 and a $300 a month item. So what that means is you may need a bit more people to have the results that maybe you were seeing before in some other deal that or the thousands of dollars. But in light of this economy today and the way things are evolving with the inflation and so forth, we need to adjust how we move forward. This is the reason why companies like Netflix and Amazon Prime and so many others like Dropbox, this is why God Backup is in the right space. But understand, you're not going to make tens of thousands of dollars a month with a $10 item because you sponsor 10 people. And then you're looking at what have you done for me lately? Things don't work that way. So what you have to do is you have to continue to do the right activities. This slide is an exact blueprint that you should right now memorize. Is use the company's product personally. Have you installed the software? Are you using it? Is your downline using it? And Tammy, I know you did this, but I want to underline because these are the core reasons why you have success or not.
Mm-hmm.
When someone you sign up, are they installing the software? Are you behaving more like an affiliate where let's make the sell or let's run the other way and make the next sell? Let's find what else is there to sell so I can make a buck every time I send a blast email. This is not what we're talking about here. We're creating a culture. We're creating a network, an ecosystem to support your well-being financially by using services that are useful. Make sure you do that. Then are you duplicating the activities? Don't look at, well, I need to make $10,000. We all need to make $10,000 a month and above. Of course, where you live may vary, but you understand my meaning. So to get there, you have the team has to start duplicating the activities that Tammy just talked about. The 4 major steps. Sponsor 2, left and right, have 5 total, have 3 people in your sponsorship line, hopefully your personals, but it doesn't even matter as long as it's within your sponsorship line that are copper, and you have 25 people in the team within your enrollment tree. Boom, you are a goal. Now you're starting to not only move up, but you start opening the gateway to get more income and more volume. So that means you're getting a bigger piece of the pie. So understanding this, and that's why some people are upset, is they don't understand that. They say, well, I should get paid because I did this. Do you qualify? Did you do the right things? And the other thing is, are you maintaining a relationship with your team? These are the things that Tammy and I focus on every single day. Every single day. We always rotate among our leadership and we stay in touch. Where can I be of some help? Where can I help you? What do you need? And maintain a good relationship with your team, that you care about them. You care about their well-being. You care about their families. You want to make sure that there's an income going to their pockets. For that to happen, they need to do step number 2 and step number 1. And then there's promotions and events. There's a promotion right now that was just announced yesterday for the next 2 weeks, right? So it's basically the top 5, I believe, are going to be earning extra cash by doing exactly what you need to do to build your business anyway. That is how you build volume. That's how you make an income. This is how you create a solid revenue into your business. This is it. That slide here is what you need to hear, is what you need to do. Now, here's another thing that's really important. I'll move on to the next slide. And sorry, Timmy, I know I repeated this slide, but it was so an important slide.
No,
That's
it's good. And you know what? When it comes to the contest, how many of your team members know that there's a contest going on? Have you sent out in your team groups? Have you sent it out? Are they aware that there's a contest? You know, the company sends stuff out. A lot of people don't even check their emails. They're not plugged in. But if you connect with them and encourage them to jump in and get some people, and you're going to help them, you know, guide them and help them do some calls, maybe do some follow-ups with some of their people to help them get their people in. I mean, there's nothing more exciting when your team members are in the top ranks of contests or signups or whatever it is. It's exciting when your team is on fire. It's contagious.
That's an understatement. And I really appreciate you guys are putting some amazing comments.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Is that they're very, 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 very relevant, right? Laura, you've just posted, Mary, that's mindset is attitude is key. That is critical, right? Laura, maintaining your team is essential to success. Obviously, you're in network marketing and you understand what we're talking about here. Absolutely correct. Now, business work versus income productive activity, right? Busy work versus income producing activities. This is another big thing that we see as we start mentoring folks. Differentiate between tasks that feels productive and those that are actually growing your business. I know I'm very big with this. You're really busy, but is this really producing? Is this going in towards your goal of earning a bigger income? You're very busy, but is it producing? Right? So focus on the income productive activities. What is that in our business? Inviting, prospecting, presenting, and following up. Do you remember when we did these trainings are actually, by the way, if you go to the God Backup channel, you will find that there is a playlist now and there's a segment with the Saturday trainings. So it's easier for you to kind of walk through the files and then the past recorded videos. They are there. You can see that there is presentation in English, in Italian, in French. I believe very soon we're going to start in Spanish. And there's other videos that are other playlists that are there. I'm just overlooking. But the point here is go check them out. And go back and go to the training that are titled prospecting and inviting. The order should be reversed here. So prospecting and inviting, and then presenting, and then the following up, and third-party credibility, handling objections. These are all what we call the success cycle series. Very, 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 very important. So are you busy producing income activities, or are you just very busy doing whatever you think it's important? Keep that in mind. Again, we are training people to be top income earners. It's not surprised that we happen to have the top income earners within our leadership. Why is that? Is it luck? No, I don't think so. It has everything to do with what we're telling you right now. We are living what we're teaching. We are not just teaching to sound good. We are living what we teach. That's the reason why these sessions are so important for you. We are talking about decades and decades and decades of trainings, of travelings, of teaching, and building organization, seeing the results, mentoring in different parts of the world. What we're sharing with you here is the real stuff. It works. It's not theory coming from a book that we've learned somewhere. It's not just, of course, we did at one point, but we have also applied it and seen the results. So when you follow leadership that are sharing you the next shiny thing, be diligent on why you're following them. Have they ever made money? You could see their lifestyle. Sometimes people have a silver tongue. They can say wonderful things. And I'm sharing this with you not to undermine other people that might have done that. I'm trying to protect you as you make decisions to jump ship into deals that are not going to serve you well. It's just going to be another 2, 3 years or 5 years of wasted time for you. Follow people who are living the life that you want to live. That's what we're teaching you here today. And if you do, stay tuned to the end because we have other slides that are so critical for you. but focus on the money making activities. If you want, focus on the areas that are productive towards what you desire. I say money because I do understand that money today ranks right up there with oxygen. And I do understand that we need more of it due to the cost of living today. And this is not going anywhere. Doesn't matter what government will take over, there will always be, it's called inflation and evolution. Things are changing and evolving, and we need to evolve with it. God backup is exactly in line for that. Are we 100% perfect? No, we're not. Are we thriving perfection? Absolutely. Are we going to get better every single day? Absolutely. I'm telling you, folks, there will be a time that this is going to explode. And those of you are perfectly positioned to benefit from that explosion. But you need to have a clear mind so you don't get distracted by the shiny things that are coming every 2 minutes your way. Next slide. Let's talk about taprooting.
Yeah, before you go there, busy work, Chris, is important. Go back to the busy work, because that is also very important, because that's your organization part. The busyness, it should be the organizing part. But in that organizing part, you do this on non-productive business time. And this is what we do. We do it evening. We spend 5-10 minutes in the evening. We plan our next day in advance. So when we wake up in the morning, it's already structured on the people we're going to talk to, the emails that we have to send out to invite people to the presentations. Everything that we need to plan is done on the non-productive hours. So think of all the hours that you have in your day and which time slots can you put in some organization, because you need to have the plan, you need the organization, you need the strategy. Okay. And then the execution is where you need to spend a majority of your time for you to build the business. And then going into taprooting, taprooting is, Chris and I have been doing this for a long time. Is the people at the bottom. The people at the bottom are the new people. They need the support, and you got to make sure that that their leader are supporting their team members, because some of them are not. Like I said, not everybody is interested in making their first circle work. They're just bringing people in, and they just want to make their $20 or their $50, and these people are gone if somebody is not there to plug them in, to guide them, to make sure that they know there's a training call on Saturdays to help them grow their business, grow their skills, grow their mindset. They need to know that there's presentations going on regularly so that they can invite people to. They need to know their links. There's things that they need to know to build their business. So new people are excited, and new people want to build this. So taprooting is absolutely important. Build from the bottom up, working deep within the organization. You want to keep the numbers growing? Taproot. Create momentum and excitement through lower levels. Make sure that anytime you sign somebody up, that you're working directly with your leaders. If they're not interested in working, but they sign people up, those people need support. And don't look at it like, oh, if I didn't sign them, it's none of my business. It is your business. Okay, it is your business. And they could be the future diamond leaders in your organization. Okay, so taprooting generates a lot of volume if you spend time doing this. So if you're interested in the long-term growth of your organization and the income producing part of your business, that is where you should be looking at right now. Now, there's people that are above you that you may got lucky, and somebody above you put somebody in the business, and you don't have access to these people where there's nothing you can really do. That's why you got to build your own when you build your own organization, you have control. You have control because the people that you bring in, you have access to them. And then the people that you bring in, you're working with their team members, taprooting, right? And then you're working within those people, taprooting, you're working with those people, taprooting. Next thing you know, you've got a flourishing organization. And you create culture within that. You create fun within that, not always business, but create a fun activity for a bunch of people to come together and do. That is huge. Of course, you want to have business activities as well, right? So that's how you build growth. That's how you dig deep into the organization and build it massive.
This is actually in such an important aspect of the activities that Tammy and I do. Now, here's another one that's really, really important. It's event as key to grow, right? Event is a key component to growth. Events are critical for building belief, improving skills, and create duplication. Now, I know that prior to the pandemic, we had a lot more hotel events and everything else. But today, hotels, they're looking for liquid gold every time you want to rent a room. And it's just crazy what's going on right now. So we need to evolve. So I assure you that all of these things are going to take place and things are eventually going to balance much better. But for the time being, folks, we have ways to communicate. And we're dealing with a digital company that has all the facilities to be able to communicate online through emails, to webinars, through webcasts. And eventually, and I know that some of us have done some events. I know it was too many amazing events in Ghana. I know we had some in Toronto. Maybe some of you have done some in some of your countries that we haven't heard of. The point here is all of this is going to grow. But the reason why it's so important is because it helps build belief. There's going to be some events that are going to be happening in the Philippines very, very soon. I'm telling you. All of these things will help create and maintain duplication, right? Major and local events foster long-term commitment and growth. I know because we've been there. Now, we started our business in the 80s. We understand the importance of connecting and going to events and physically be there. We understand that. We also understand that today we're 2024. Things has evolved and changed. We have adapted to these changes. That's why now you have companies that have spent hundreds of millions of dollars in creating broadcasting events to reach out to the entire planet. And because often it's such a problem for visas, for people to come to the United States or even to Canada, it's a problem to do big events here to invite the rest of the world to come and join. So we need these virtual events. People can fly there, but if you can't fly there, you can actually be part of the event by joining in and connect. You see what I'm saying? We've evolved, but events are key for growth, right? Event energize your team and sets the tone for success. This will never change. We are human beings. As much as I love the idea of the Vision Pro of Apple, and I'm looking forward to get my own. I'm a techie buff. I love the technology. I got the watch. I got the phones. I got the iPads. I got probably going to get the ring eventually. My point in saying is these are okay. They're fun. They're cool, but it's never going to replace a hug, face-to-face smile. Ever. This human interaction is so, and now more important than ever, people crave this because we're always behind technology to communicate. We have to because it's the way we've evolved. But again, it's a combination of that will grow, that will evolve, we're evolving into. But my point in saying all this, folks, is events is key. Many of you here, we vary between 79 to 63, right? People coming and leaving. The point here is this training is kind of like an event, but we're educating you on very important knowledge that we live by every day as to why we've made 7-figure in this business. Again, we're not learning on your dime. Well, it's actually free, but you know what I mean, right? Our trainings that we're doing is usually not free. But the fact is we're providing it because we want to help the God Backup community to evolve to where it's due. Tammy and I, we are committed to God Backup because we believe in their leadership. We believe in the product. We believe in the vision of where we're going. It's common sense. Data is the new oil. Look at past companies that don't even pay their customers how far they've been. We're not 2 years in the game yet. We're still infants. You understand? Give us a chance to grow and you will see some amazing thing evolving. Will you be part of that? Because all of you are part of it now. You don't realize it, but you're into something big. What if you would have bought Apple stock 40 years ago? Where would you be today if you put even $1,000? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is $100 a year cost of operating. It's a joke. But if you put $100 in 2000 and I don't know, what is it, 2012 in Bitcoin, how much? Where would you be today? You see, it's all about timing. This is it. This is timing. That's why events are important, so we can help you see the big picture that sometimes we don't see based on our understanding of what we're looking at. That's why events is so important. Back to you, Tammy.
Absolutely. And I love events. I'm a people person. I love gathering with people, and I'm a big hugger. Anybody who knows me, when you see me, you get a big hug, and people love that. It's amazing. So leadership through counseling. This is so important. Everybody needs to be counseled. Everybody needs to be guided through the process. Okay. If you feel like it's easy for you guys to say this. You guys have been doing it for a long time. And I wouldn't know the first steps to do this. Well, plug people into somebody who can show them how. Okay. But learn in the process. So you're not just passing the torch all the time, because you won't gain any credibility within your organization if you keep passing the torch and giving people to somebody else to train them. You got to develop yourself first. That's what this whole session is about. Making the commitment to develop yourself. And set up some monthly counseling sessions in developing people within your organization. Set things up so that you can help people grow. We do a lot of personal stuff, Chris and I, within our personals, and we'll do it within our groups too. So some of them are group sessions, some of them are personal mentorship sessions, because it might be something specific that person needs. So these are the things that you want to do within your organization, is to set time for the people. So you can help them answer the questions, help them get through some hurdles that they might have, whether it's emotional or technical, whatever it is. You want to help people, and always ask for help if you don't have the answers. Okay, that's really, really important. And then you want to evaluate your business metrics, your organization. I'm constantly, every day I go in my organization first thing in the morning, I check to see the numbers, because at the end of the day, the numbers have to be bigger. If the numbers aren't bigger, that means the organization is not growing. Who within the organization needs some support right now? Who is the potential leader that's rising in the organization? That one phone call and one inspiring message that you could do for that person could make a huge difference in their growth. Huge. Okay. And then personal counseling helps leaders grow and stay focused on their goals. Okay. So this is really, really important. Find out what their goals are. You need to know what they want to accomplish. And you need to know what's their rank goals. You need to know what kind of income they want to be making. And you got to work with them within those steps of what they can do with the hours that they're willing to commit to do the right activities. You don't want them wasting time. So many people waste time and then they get frustrated. But if you guide them to do the right things, then they start to grow their incomes. They start to grow their foundation, their organization. And I'm telling you, if you have people in your organization that are shy and quiet, connect with those people. And the reason why I say that is because I was that person. And just going to tell you a little story. When I first got started in the business, and Chris knows who this person is because I met Chris when I was early in starting the business. I come from a traditional business background. I didn't have to get all dressed up. I was a designer, so I showed up, ponytail, just simple. And they asked me to share a testimony, and I wasn't expecting it. I was really shy. I was just a shy person, and I did my testimony. I was so nervous that my throat was, you get all beet red and your throat is nervous and all that stuff. And anyways, I did the testimony, and I found out, I think it was about a year later, I found out from one of the leaders that he told somebody else when he saw me stand up and say that, and he looked at me, he said to the other leader, she'll be gone in 3 months. And we've been growing organizations, reaching top ranks for over 26 years. Imagine if somebody hadn't have saw the potential in me, if they hadn't have taken the time to help me grow. And I actually asked them. That was the truth. I ended up asking them. I want to be able to do what you do. So can I show up at one of your presentations and watch you do this? And then I started taking courses. And then you just never know who your next leader is. So get to know people and know from the core what they truly desire in life. And if you see them showing up, spend time with them. I'm telling you, I was one of those people. So I hope this message is going to be a message that's going to stick with you, because you just never know who's hungry enough to go to the top.
This is a really important point that Tammy talked about, is there are people in your team that you don't know of, that maybe their voices has never really been heard, but they have the gift, but it's a diamond in the rough. They don't even know they have that yet. That's why it's important to have mentoring and leading, because through and tap rooting, where you're going down to your organization, and again, you have to do that with respect. You don't go in someone's downline and start building a relationship with someone you never met just because you feel that you own them. It doesn't work that way. There is a certain line of responsibility by tap rooting. But what I'm saying is sometimes the leader may not see far, the vision may not be far, and because of that, they might be distracted by different deals that are going every 2 weeks, and next thing you know, the people they have, they're constantly disillusioned because they're not making money, and they keep spending on a new deal they have to spend money in. So that's what's happening right now. That's why tap rooting is good. So the people that are at the bottom know where to go if they choose that they want to stick around despite whatever the leader in between may choose to do. But you have to do that with respect. And the fact, it goes to the point of, and we have 2 more slides here, folks, then we're done, is to leading the tribe, right? Lead by example as the very first slide, right? How to make the first circle work is the way you behave will reflect within your organization. Your team will follow your action. Your main job is to become successful first. Don't try to tell your team what to do if you have not accomplished it, right? There's people that are not even copper, and if they're coppers because they sponsored their son on one side or something, but they never did anything, and here they are dictating on how you should do your business. That is not good leadership. You have to achieve. Become copper yourself. Make sure the software is installed on your computer and on your phone. Apply the software, and then start showing people here this is how it works. And then the next thing is okay, here's what I did to get to copper. Here's what I did to get to silver. Here's what I did to get to gold. That's what leads by example. Create a community of leadership and foster the tribe to mentally, in your network. So in other words, make sure that your team is is mentored in a direction that is in line with what they want to achieve. Most people in God Backup, they want to achieve, they want to earn an income. But for this to happen, you have to move up in rank. But moving up in rank doesn't mean you're going to get the income. It means that you're qualified to earn the income, but then you need an organization underneath you that is duplicating. And if there's no duplication, you're not going to see the results. You may have the pin rank, but you don't have the income. That's the reason why you may see a diamond that has a higher income than a double diamond. Is you might have reached a rank and you might have reached the minimum requirement, but the diamond has done all the things to duplicate the organization and their income is bigger. So you need to understand the comp plan. And to understand the comp plan, we recommend you go back to trainings that were done. Eve has done a wonderful training. Randy has done a wonderful training. Tammy and I did a really good training also. That was 2 weeks ago. And if you go back to the playlist and you go back on Saturday training, you see Mastering the Compensation Plan. Click on that, watch it. And we're going to the PDF from top to bottom. Are you showing up for class? Are you fostering your leadership to be aware of where to access the information for them to open their the horizon, the possibility, the vision of what is possible for them? And I tell you that a lot of people that are lashing out and complaining at the moment, if they are, it's because they don't understand what they're looking at. And they're upset at what they think they're looking at. And it's not the truth. They're not looking at the right spot. They're not understanding this correctly. Why is it that we constantly do these trainings, and often these trainings are repeated? It's because we know that people don't go back and watch the trainings, but it'll come into a live session. So folks, again, lead the tribe. Lead the tribe. So Tammy, as we end this call here, what are the final thoughts?
Yeah, just stay committed, never give up, because it's all about timing, you guys. The right people are going to come in your organization that are hungry enough and that catch the vision. You can't drag somebody across the finish line if they don't want to go. Constantly bring new people to the table and make sure that you're grooming the new people the moment they get started with the 4 benchmarks. That's really, really important. Make sure they show up to the training. And often people say, "Oh yeah, I got this too. I got that too. I got that to do," and then they don't even catch the recording. They say they're going to catch the recording, but they don't catch the recording. And it's so important that people get trained. I know every time we know that there's something done by the company, we're going to show up. If there's something done by the team, we're going to show up because that's what we do. We have to show up. We have to learn. We have to grow. We have to invest in ourselves, personal development, reading books, listening to audios, things that are going to take you to another level of growth so that you can instill this within your organization. Okay, so that's absolutely key. Network marketing offers a path to personal freedom. Truly, it does. It transformed our lives completely. But you have to work. You have to show up. You have to invest in yourself.
I totally agree. And folks, as we finish last thoughts here, stay the course and be committed. I'm telling you that Tammy and I would not be in this company if we didn't believe in the future and we didn't believe in the vision. And there's a reason why we believe in his vision. And there's a reason we've earned 7-figure in our industry. It's because we stick around and we are staying the course and moving forward. And we will keep teaching and training. And just in closing, folks, that Joel and I are actually working in a really nice communication platform that's going to be part of the God Backup back office. That's going to be a lot better than Telegram. You'll be able to post things and communicate and comment, and it's going to be some amazing things coming. There's some exciting things coming for you. I hope that you stay the course and you see the big picture, you see the vision, and I hope you understand the concept that we shared about today in making your first circle work. The link that I posted in there, it's because Michelle has asked me to have the link of this training, folks. The training that got you here is the link. This link is there forever. Right now, if you go to the playlist, you'll find in there at the top. Especially if you just worked on your filters, making sure the most recent at the top, it'll show you always the most recent one, and that way you can share it with your team. I highly recommend you do so. This is a very, 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 very important training. Very important. If your team are aware of the importance of making the first circle work, you could increase your income tenfold by next year.
Oh, yeah.
But you need to let people know. So in saying this, folks, Wednesday, we will be there without fault following the presentation with Joel. On Friday morning, 11 o'clock, we will be there as usual. And if you can't make the live, you can always listen to the recording. On Sunday, Tammy and I are going to be presenting with the African team, with Dr. Kewe and his team. We look forward to share with them. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we look forward to see you at the top. And bye for now.
Have a great weekend.